Hi, this is Robert at Capital Retail Group. We specialize in small and medium sized commercial properties located in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Property management, leasing, and sales is our specialty. This video channel is dedicated to live, real world examples of what is going on in the marketplace and what you need to be aware of if you are a property manager representing a landlord. Today's example, we're going to go over the lease and if there's an issue that comes about when you have to notify a tenant to get a repair done. So, this is a picture that was sent to us by a tenant who was trying to get their certificate of occupancy. They failed to get their C of O because there was a leak that was coming from upstairs. The upstairs tenant, it turns out, has a kitchen issue, and that kitchen needs to be repaired. So, one of the first things that we do as a landlord is representing a landlord is go to the lease. So, we want to make sure that we can notify the tenant upstairs to make the repairs so that the downstairs tenant can get their C of O, certificate of occupancy. So we inevitably read through a lot of leases. The Goldilocks method is sort of what we go for, not something too complex, but certainly not something too short where it doesn't give any details as to what the next step is. So, as an example, this lease is only 6 pages long. It does state that the tenant has to keep their premises, their space in good working order. That's it. That's all it says. It doesn't state what would happen if they don't take care of their space. There's some things in shorter leases that are left to everyone's imagination and assumptions, and that can cause problems for everyone involved. So we really recommend to stay away from short leases that don't give a lot of detail. It might be easy to put together in the beginning. Maybe a landlord does it themselves or has a friend do it, but it is not something that we recommend. We ask all landlords to spend the money upfront on a transactional attorney services. They will put together a lease that you can use not just for one tenant, but for all the tenants. And that way you can go to the lease and be pretty confident that most of the tenants have a similar format. So this lease, for example, is 40 pages. It does state that the tenant has to take care of the premises, but here's an example where it gives further clarification that if they don't, that the landlord's agent or the landlord can make the repair themselves, charge the tenant back plus 15% for the aggravation and admin of actually doing the work. So it's spelled out very clearly the tenant shall reimburse the landlord for 115% of all costs incurred within 30 days of receipt by tenant of a landlord's demand thereof. So that's an example where it's great. We're going to go ahead and send a letter to the tenant. We'll do a snippet of this part of the lease, and hopefully this issue will be taken care of. They will hire their own contractor. They'll get this resolved. I would imagine they don't want to have a leak in their kitchen as well. And they certainly don't want to cause further damage to the downstairs tenant. So, an example of going to the lease, reviewing it, making sure it has enough details. The Goldilocks method, right? You don't want it too light and too short where it's just left open for interpretation. You don't necessarily need a really complex one because then it can be really costly having landlords review it. But I tend to go on the longer leases because it really gives a lot of explanation when things don't exactly go according to plan. So if you guys have questions on leases or anything related to that, give us a call here at Capital Retail. It's 202-319-2884, capitalretail.com. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button or the like button. We'd love to hear your comments so we can add more videos for everyone's benefit. Thanks a lot and have a great day.